Back in 2022, I talked to you about the concept of FRAML, the merging of fraud and anti-money laundering. And back then, it was a meaningful concept. Now, in 2026, it's a survival requirement. If your bank, in fact, still runs fraud on real-time rails, while AML sits in a 24 hours batch process, so you aren't just inefficient, you are wide open to the most sophisticated attacks that we have seen. So the 2026 criminal doesn't see a fraud department and an AML department. They see a single interconnected financial system, and they are using also Agentic AI to find the gaps between your silos. So today we are moving beyond the theory. I'm going to show you how the Fusion cell model is replacing traditional departments and why your career depends on being able to speak both languages. So it's time to jump right into today's video. In my last video on this, we talked about a common objective like preserving reputation. Today, the pressure is more immediate, structural lag. In 2026, instant payment rails like SEPA Instant and FedNow are no longer something that we see new on the market within the payment system. They are both the baseline, essentially. People are expecting this fast transaction taking place. And if a fraudster triggers an alert at 10 a.m., but your AML team doesn't see the mule activity until the next morning, that money hasn't just left the bank, it's been swapped through 3 different crypto bridges probably, and is effectively untraceable already by the evening. So the compliance 3.0 approach to FRAML isn't just about sharing data, it's about sub-second streaming decision making that we are seeing moving towards a unified decision engine where a single API call checks for both the fraud and AML risk before the transaction is even authorized. If we jump back to 2022, we were excited about machine learning. Now in 2026, the buzzword is Agentic AI. In my day work as a practitioner, I've seen firsthand that we are moving away from passive system that just flags an anomaly. The focus now is on agentic intelligence systems that can perceive, reason, and act within defined guardrails. So imagine a fusion cell, I call it fusion cell, where an AI agent detects a social engineering pattern. Instead of just sending a notification to a human, the agent instantly queries the cross-departmental database, identifies that the recipient is in a new account with no prior history, and provides the investigator with a pre-synthesized case narrative. So summary basically of the case narrative that's behind all this work that was done. It's no longer about just spotting what happened, it's about having the intelligence to stop what is about to happen. This is the core of what we call the predictive defense. I know that many of you watching are wondering, does this mean I need to learn 2 jobs? The answer is kind of yes. The most valuable person in 2026 in our space is the Fusion Analyst. This is someone who understands the app, the authorized push payments fraud, the rules in the UK, but also knows how to write a suspicious activity report that satisfies the latest AMLA requirement. So this is why in the FinCrime Career Accelerator 2.0, I have updated the course in module 4 with specifically the element to cover the fusion mindset. We teach how to analyze a case file from a 360 degrees perspective, and I will show you in the course how to identify the fraud inflow as well and the AML outflow as one single story. So if you want to be one who leads one of these fusion departments, you need the framework that goes behind the old silos. So over 100 students already took my course, and if you're keen to join, visit the link that you will find right here on the screen and in the description right below on this video. So referencing again my 2022 video, I mentioned back then that regulators were conservatives. In 2026, the tone has changed, and the new EU anti-money laundering authority, AMLA, is set to issue official guidelines on ongoing and transaction monitoring by July 2026. So these aren't just suggestions, they are the new single rulebook. They are specifically looking for effective outcomes now. So if a bank is hit by a massive romance scam and they can't show that their fraud and AML teams were coordinated, the regulator will view that as a governance failure. So the era of regulatory exceptionalism for being siloed is officially over. My closing message back in 2022 was about being more intelligent than the criminals. In 2026, that means being faster and more integrated. The silos, the approach that we've seen isn't just an organizational hurdle anymore, it is a security vulnerability. And if you are an ML professional, go have lunch with someone in the fraud department tomorrow and ask them about maybe synthetic identities. And if you are in the fraud team, ask the ML team about the latest sanction circumvention, some updates about AMLA, some tactics that they've been using in their team, because the fusion starts with you. And if you enjoyed this 2026 update on FRAML, please hit the like button and subscribe. I put the links to the original videos and the new regulations resources in the description down there. I'm Marco Beranzoni. Stay sharp, stay focused. Thanks for watching, and I will see you in the next one.